I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I get up when I'm bleeding, barely breathing. I'll never back down.
This is the collision of common sense and comedy. This is Defenders Live.
I'll never back down. Thought I was 6 feet under. But now it's your turn to face the fire.
It's Friday. Yeah, I know Dylan's not here for a minute. He had to take an urgent phone call. He'll be right back. Hopefully, everything will be fine. You know, nothing big, no problems. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. But that being said, it's Friday. And with it being Friday, we have a bunch of stuff that we want to do, we want to hold on to, we want to talk about. Oh, but everything is here. Everything is going on. The world has apparently decided to die. And that's okay, because that's why we're here. We're here for you in your moment of need during the time that the world is dying. No, I'm just joking. It's not the thing at all. Okay, let me see here. Get this thing going here and do this here and everything. By the way, if you want to comment or talk to us over on any of the social medias, you can call us. I'm joking. You don't call us. Go to our social media at DOA Show on the Twitters. That's the best way to get to us. Hashtag arm yourselves. Hashtag Mojo50. It's at DOAE Show is how you get to all of us and all the rest of it. Yes, TechRoo, Dylan's car warranty expired, and he's now trying to fight them off. That's the sad part of the world. That's exactly what's going on. He decided that he just didn't need that warranty anymore, and so that's how it is. Anyway, a report on the government spending in Denver, Colorado, found that the city spends far more on services provided to each homeless person than it would cost to simply house each one in an apartment. The report was conducted by researchers at the University of Colorado, Denver, in conjunction with a Common Sense Institute, a free enterprise advocacy group. Yeah, they found that Denver spends between $42,000 and $104,000 per person. That homeless person on services by the local government and from local charities. Now, I'm going to stop right there and just kind of, I want to, $42,000 is more than minimum wage. That's more than minimum wage, $42,000. So why are they homeless? If $42,000 are spent on the, quote, homeless people, if it's just $42,000, not $104,000, but $42,000 per person, per homeless person services, why wouldn't they in turn just say, okay, you know what, we're going to hire these people for $42,000, so that way at least we get some work out of them, and then they can, you know, it could be a working program. It could be a shovel-ready job, as it were. Why, if our government, or if Denver, Colorado's government, is just deciding that, you know, over the time they've taken a look at everything and they've seen the numbers and they're like, oh, we spend $50,000 per homeless person here. Why don't they just give them jobs? Clean them up, give them jobs, and then say, here you go. Make a living for yourself. If we're going to do, if our government is going to decide that it's going to pay for these homeless folks, it might as well get some work out of it, right? They might as well get something out of the deal. What is, if they're homeless, they don't have anything, obviously, or they have the minute things, or they have a shopping cart and maybe, you know, a tent, something or the other, but they don't have a place to call home. That's it. They just don't have a place to call home. Some of these people do have issues. They do have these problems. They do have what's going on. But if your services rendered are more than minimum wage for these groups of homeless people, wouldn't it be more useful just to pay them minimum wage? Just send them a check. That makes sense to me. I mean, if you're going to pay for it anyway, if you're going to spend the money anyway, hire them and send them a check. Then they can get a house of their own. Then they can get a place of their own. Then they can decide whether they're going to live, where they're going to live, and how they're going to do things. Maybe they just decide, whatever. I'm just going to still live the way I am. I'm just going to go to the gym or the local local YMCA or whatever and take showers there and all the rest of it. People do that all the time. It's fine. But why are they spending upwards of $100,000 per person to keep the homeless people there? Doesn't make sense to me. The figures are far higher than the $20,000 per year it would take to simply rent a one-bedroom apartment per person. In Denver, Colorado, it only costs $20,000 per year to rent a one-bedroom apartment for each person. So you could house them and then pay them an additional $20,000 and get off even better, right? The researchers point out that the government was spending far less to teach students in Denver public schools, which comes to about $19,000 a person in 2019. Denver Post reported that the spokesperson for the mayor, Michael Hancock, responded by saying that they do not keep track of spending on a per capita basis for some reason. They don't keep track of their spending. They don't care how much they spend on the homeless or how much they spend on everybody else. It's fine. It's no big deal. But since December of 2020, Denver has taken an unusual step in setting up the city-sanctioned campsites for 24-hour security and daily meals. The Colorado Coalition for the Homeless has called the new taxes to raise millions and pay for the support of the homeless. So because it costs so much to support these homeless folks, with the way that they're supporting the homeless, they're now going to raise taxes on the people that aren't homeless but are struggling to support the homeless, which might then force people to also be homeless. Smart. Frustrated property and business owners are setting up their own barricades in order to keep the homeless encampments from taking hold and bring crime and drugs to their neighborhood. In particular, frustrating development, the city began to fine businesses for not cleaning up the crap. Literal crap. Actual crap. Garbage, hypodermic needles, and all the rest that are left on these companies' property. Denver City Council member Chris Hines told that KCNC TV that the homeless crisis was the number one issue concerning his constituents. Quote, "We're telling them that they have to move along. And they go a block or two, and it's like whack-a-mole. The current approach isn't working at all." Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. That's kind of the issue. You may be, quote-unquote, playing whack-a-mole, but you're also providing security and free meals. And you're telling them, in essence, you're telling them that it's perfectly okay. It is absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever for them to be doing what they're doing and to be housed in that area. For them to be designated campsite in the middle of Denver. In the middle of Denver. Which, by the way, if you're going to be a homeless person, Denver's not the place I would go. It's kind of cold, a little bit unruly there. It's a bit awkward to see that and to go there and say, yeah, that's where I want to go. That's the place. That's the place that I want to be. Is the place where it's super freaking cold almost all the time. That sounds great, right? Sounds awesome. Not to me, but to apparently some people. But that's not, I don't. Okay. So let's start there. You spend upwards of $100,000 to support a community of people that don't have any homes, that have decided to live in tents. And in those tents or outside of the tents or under the starry sky or all the rest of it. And you decided as a community or as a city mainly, not really a community, but you decided as a city that you were going to support these people in some way, that you were going to give them food and all the rest of it. And that's good. That's a good thing. You should be doing that. That's nice. But then you provided security for them. And then you started charging the local businesses when these people were just literally shitting in their places, when they were absolutely dropping all their trash and garbage and needles and everything else in the area. This group of homeless people that apparently is also full of drug-induced homeless people, not just the typical homeless person that doesn't have a penny and is asking for help, but the homeless person that is there on their own will because they've decided to be a druggie. They've decided some way or another that they were going to start an addiction into something that they couldn't control. And others stuck. Instead of helping those people, instead of getting them into rehab, instead of putting them into a place where they can get better, which is also going to cost you less than $42,000 to $104,000, you decide instead to give them security, to give them 3 meals a day, and to what? Charge the local people for everything that they did? To charge everybody else for the fact that, you aren't doing your job and, I get you want to provide for them, but this is one of the problems where we come into play, where it's providing for the homeless, providing for the needy, providing for those that need that have a need and a want and a desire. Those people, it's not the government's job to supply them. And that sounds harsh, but it's not. It's not the government's job to give them food. It's not the government's job to give them housing. It's not the government's job to do any of that. People will reference the Bible and say, we're supposed to be doing this we as individuals, person to person, individuals are supposed to be doing that. Our churches are supposed to be doing that. Our society as a whole, we're supposed to be doing that person to person. It's an individual basis. It's not a government thing. The Bible doesn't say that the government is supposed to be something that ties in and supports the needy and the poor and the widows and all the rest of it and the orphans and all. No, it doesn't say that. It says you. It doesn't say tax everybody else so that the government can provide support for these people. No, that's not what it says. It says you. So I guess my question for Denver is why? Why do you think that it's necessary for you as a government to provide these things? Why do you think as a government that you should be giving them security and 3 meals a day and, all the rest of it? And you know what? If you want to give them 3 hots and a cot, then you might as well put them somewhere. Because in the end, it will cost you less. And it will cause less stress and strife in the community. I'm not saying put them in jail. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is that there is a time and a place and all of the rest of it where you as a community, where you as a society, where we as a government can look at this and say, okay, well, this is a stand that the government can take. Those who are homeless because of a drug addiction need to go to rehab. If they're homeless and they don't have their faculties and all the rest of it, then they need to be put in rehab. That's it. You don't have your faculties. You can't decide for yourself what's right and what's wrong. And the reason why you are in the state that you are in is because you put yourself there through your bad decisions. Now, we could just let you sit there and rot, but as people, we should decide that it is not the best thing to let somebody sit and rot because of their own decisions. Instead, you should probably help them. That being said, there are some people that don't want the help. There's some people that don't want to dive into this. There are some people that don't want to be pushed into these situations, and that's okay. I'm not poo-pooing them. I'm not saying bad on them or anything else. What I am saying is, if you're going to be spending this much money, one of two things need to happen. One, you need to be getting something out of it. And two, it needs to actually be changing something for the better. And I know that's a lot. That's a huge leap. That is a big gap to fill for our government. Our government doesn't have that idea. Our governments don't have the idea that when they spend money, it's supposed to do something better for the future. It's supposed to push toward a greater good. That idea has been lost for quite a while. So I get that we don't think about it like this. But when you're a spokesperson for the mayor, Michael Hancock, is coming out and saying that, it's a big crisis and that we're telling them that to move along, and then they just go 2 blocks away and all the rest of it and blah, 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 blah. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. When companies have to barricade their own areas, where they have to literally set up fencing so that the homeless don't come and take a shit in on their property, literally on the steps or on the sidewalk or all the rest of it, you're doing it wrong. And I guess you just want to go the way of San Francisco and Seattle and all the rest of it, where you don't actually do anything that's going to help, but instead you do things like, I don't know, provide safe areas for people to take drugs. Why don't you install porta potties in a couple of areas? Why don't you do that? Do that and then, provide the toilet paper. It doesn't have to be good. It could be the single-ply piece of crap. It doesn't have to be good. Provide porta potties in little alleyways or whatever, so it's not stinking up the entire neighborhood, but you can also go and clean it every now and again, once a month. That would create a few jobs. You could have a few people at least then on the, public bathroom regime or whatever you want to call it or whatever else, where you're paying these used-to-be homeless people pretty good pay to take care of the crap of the homeless people. Sounds apropos, I know, but still. Why is it that I can think of things like this, or that Dylan can think of things like this? Why is it that when we see stories like this, the people that are actually involved in it are so far up, swimming in the crap, that they can't see the small little details, just the little tiny things that you could do to create a better atmosphere in your town, in your city, in your community? Is it because they look at it on such a wide scale, or because they look at it so small, or they don't even pay attention to it? Is it because they've decided that they're going to use it as political leverage? Why? Why would you do this to somebody? Why would you use a foundational community of people that are homeless to be some sort of crazy political stunt? To be some sort of weird, it's now become a story. It's now become a story. You're now San Francisco. You're now Seattle. You're now having a problem. But it's not now. It happened 5 years ago. It happened 10 years ago. It happened over the course of this past pandemic. All the rest of it. It happened there. And you decided that instead of fixing the situation or providing actual help for the situation, you would just pay for stuff. You just pay for stuff. I don't know. I guess it goes back to parenting. I guess it goes back to the idea of, spoiling a child versus letting them learn from their mistakes and then helping them fix it. All you're doing is you're just throwing money at a problem. We're not all millionaires here. We don't all make enough money to be able to do that, to do something like that, to do anything like that. That's not what we do. That's not who we are. And as a community, I can see where we would all want to help these folks. We would all want to dive forward and do these things and take care of these people. But that's not. Just throwing money at it doesn't help. There are a lot of situations where throwing money at something probably will help. Hey, I need a new roof. You throw money at it and hire somebody and get a new roof. That's fine. Hey, I need a thing. Okay, throw money, get a thing. You're done. That's fine. Hey, there's a whole bunch of drug addicted homeless people hanging out in Colorado. How do we fix it? I just throw some money at it. Nope. Whenever people are involved, just throwing money at something is not going to fix it. It's not going to be a way to fix it. It's not going to help the situation. It's not going to turn anything around. Just spend enough money and eventually it'll be fine again. No, that's how you go broke. That's how you push a situation into the dire point that we have with our national debt. That's how you have huge government overreach. Because we, as a people, become indifferent. And we just allow our government just to do whatever. And we say, well, we're paying the taxes anyway, so they might as well take care of it. They might as well do this. They might as well do that. No. Indifference is probably the worst crime a person could commit in the face of evil. In the face of debauchery, in the face of these disease and destitute people. Indifference is not something that it's not just a blasé, oh yeah, whatever. No. Indifference is a willful act of denying what you see in front of you. It's the willful act of looking at something and deciding that you don't care. What is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of actually dying, not caring? Other than the fact that you personally don't have to worry about it. Does it help anything else? Does it help any situation? Does it help anything go right? No. It doesn't. It hurts our population. It hurts our society. It hurts the next generation. It hurts the people that you're being indifferent to. Denver, Colorado. You're throwing money at a problem. And instead of actually thinking about ways to fix it, you're just not caring. I'd say stop. Stop and think about it. Maybe figure it out. Anyway, that is the commercial break time. So we're going to take a 2-minute break here and come back. Hopefully by that time, Dylan is back into his seat and all the rest of it. He's on the other line and trying to figure some stuff out personally. But we'll be right back right after this break. Sorry there, folks. Dylan got a personal call right before the show, so he had to take that. That's why he's out of the way. And you know me, I'm always a little bit more serious by myself, so I need somebody to play off of to make it fun. But that's okay. We got other stuff on the way. When he gets in, we have some good fun stories too. No. Yeah, slightly venomous Kirk. It's one of the words that I actually will say from time to time. So, yeah, I get you. Every time Stephen Harry says shit, I took a drink of my rum and pepper. What is it? Rum Surge Piapi? What is that? Oh, yeah, you're already drunk. Yeah. Well done. Well played. Well played. There are porta potties in the world. San Diego has them. Doesn't mean the homeless can't are near to use them. Yeah, well, just trying to think of efforts. Just trying to think of ways to get it done, Never said it was perfect. Nowhere close. Anyway, coming back. Hold on.
This is Defenders Live.
Via the periscopes, look upward, telling us that 1 in 20 folks, when given the chance to go to rehab, will stay sober. 1 in 20 will stay sober. Yeah, that is the problem with addiction. That is a major issue, and it sucks. It sucks that is actually a problem like that. Yeah, they don't have anything invested in the process because they didn't decide on their own. They were forced into it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I know. It's just, if you're gonna pay the money out anyway, you might as well try. That's all I'm saying. If you as a government is going to put the money out, if you're gonna decide that you're gonna throw that money into the wind anyway, you might as well throw it into something that may 1 in 20 getting out of rehab and actually not doing it is better than 0. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see 1 in 20 is still better than 0. And like I said, that's just me. So I got a quick little video here I wanted to show you guys. This is immigration crisis. A little bit of immigration crisis on the border here, and this is from Fox News. So it's a little loud. It's a little loud. The video is a little loud, so it's just there. But check it out here real quick. I want to show this to you. This is how tightly packed they are in these quote unquote immigration housing camps. They literally have absolutely no room in these places to do anything. Oh, there you go. You saw the little tinfoil things and everything else. You saw everything. There you go. The tinfoil bags and all the rest of it. Yeah. I thought old Biden said that it wasn't a problem. I thought he said it wasn't a problem at all. Yeah, the illegal immigrants detained by Biden administration at the center in Donna, Texas, have been held up in cramped and overcrowded cells. And that video footage that you saw just there was kind of part of it. The conditions are reminiscent of the crisis that they called in March. When the Washington Post reported that the administration was detaining thousands of minors and accompanied children in cells for longer than legally permissible. The detention facility in Donna, Texas is one of those places where the migrants apprehended by Customs and Border Protection are processed. and before they're being expelled into the country and just released for absolutely no reason. The images that were obtained by Fox News now show that migrants were being held in overcrowded pods as they awaited their processing. The Border Patrol sources said that there were currently 5,300 migrants into custody, which with 40 to 60 individuals being held in each pod. Each pod is only supposed to house 10 people. That way they would comply with COVID standards. Illegal immigration has surged again in recent months. Overwhelming communities at the border are leading the calls from local officials from the Biden administration to send additional resources to handle those large numbers at the border. Border Patrol agents encountered more than 200,000 migrants at the southern border in July. 200,000 in July. President Joe Biden's policies, though, is that a single adult and some migrant families apprehended at the border are to be expelled from the U.S. under the Title 42 health protections to mitigate the spread of COVID. But according to Fox News, the administration faces difficulties because Mexico refuses to take them back. I don't care. Mexico refuses. So they weren't Mexico's problem to begin with. You shove them back across the border and you say, go back home. Just go back home. That's it. You don't allow them in. And if you catch them coming in, I'm okay with you paying for flights to send them back into Central America. I'm okay with that. Deporting them is the way to go. That's where you have to go. You have to take them out. You have to take them and deport them back. And I'm not saying back home. I'm just saying take them halfway. Why not? Is it really our... This isn't an indifferent realm here, but the people that are coming into America at the border, are they truly coming to America because they're looking for freedom? Are they truly coming to America for those purposes? Or are they coming because they heard that Joe Biden said that he wasn't going to do anything? And so they've decided that they were going to just forego all legal processing, that they were going to forgo everything that they needed to do, which, it's not a terrible thing, but it does take some time and some money. They were just going to forgo all that and suddenly, in giant caravans, come across the border for absolutely no reason, just so that, they can be hopefully released in the middle of the United States, sent to Texas, sent to Florida, sent throughout the rest of the country because they can. And hopefully not worry about getting caught when they skip their court date. You see, when you come across the border illegally, you've already broken our laws. You've already become a felon. You've already pushed the boundary of what should be legally allowed. And so by doing that, you're a criminal. And there's absolutely no way that we should be allowing a bunch of criminals to run free in our nation. No, it doesn't matter. It's a crime of passion, or it's a crime that's just it's a crime of love. They're trying to be free, and they're trying to do okay. Go about it the right way. Go through the border crossing. Go get your papers. Go get signed in. Go get the whole thing. Everything you've got to do. Everything you've got to do. Do it. Yeah, talk about throwing money away. Yeah, I know. It's throwing money. It would be throwing money away to ship them back, and I get that. But what are the other options? Really, what are the other options? Our government already apprehended them, and they can't just turn them back, because the moment they just turn them back, they're going to try and find another path to come through. And so eventually they're going to get through. So while, yes, I agree that it is a waste of money to take them on a plane and drop them off in the middle of Central America, at least it would give us time to process everybody else that's doing it the right way. Our borders are completely crammed of people who are being processed and then, being allowed into our country and never showing up for their court dates. We're being inundated with illegal immigrants. People that shouldn't have the right to vote, but do. Sometimes in certain states. People that have no say in what's going to happen. People that intentionally do things illegally to leech off of our society to support themselves and their families in another country. And I understand that. I know you're trying to do everything you can to do it the right way and everything else. But at the same point in time, you've decided to completely disregard our government. You've decided to completely disregard our policies. You've completely disregarded our laws. And you want to somehow live free here. You want to somehow be here in the home of freedom and all the rest of it. You want to take that time and that pressure and that idea and say, well, I'm in America now, so as long as I don't get caught, I'm going to be free here. But you're not. You're not really free if you're on the run. You're not really free if you're having to hide yourself. You're not really free if you're having to do multiple illegal acts to cover up the actions that you took in the first place. It doesn't matter the reasoning behind it. If you break the laws that are in place, trying to get into a country, and you're caught, you should be sent back home. Or sent into the middle of nowhere. If all you're trying to do is get out of your country, fine. We'll send you to another one. We'll send you another one. It's fine. No problems at all. We'll send you to another. We won't even drop you back in Central America. Don't worry. We're not going to drop you. No, never mind. Instead, we're going to drop you in Africa, or we're going to drop you in China, India, another place. Why? Because it's just as bad for you to be here. What? What are you going to do about it? Are we going to throw everybody in jail? No, because that's going to block up our jail system, our prison systems. Are we going to turn them back around? No, we can't turn them back around. The moment we turn them back around, they're going to find a way to sneak back in. Are we going to worry about and try to convey with the Mexican government and say, Mexico, you have to take them back? Joe Biden doesn't care about that shit. Joe Biden doesn't care about that. Joe Biden wants more voters. Actually, I don't know what Joe Biden wants. I think he wants a popsicle or some ice cream, maybe. I think Joe Biden wants some ice cream. I think he wants some Rocky Road ice cream. That's exactly what Joe Biden wants. That's where he's going. That's where Joe Biden wants. That's what's going on there. But our current government and the administration of our current government has absolutely no qualms about doing what they're doing. They want the turmoil. They want that additional pressure. They want to have all of these things in place so that they can point to it later and say, well, this really wasn't us. We've been trying to do our best and try to get everything going. And, this was all just whatever other side of political spectrum. It was their fault. They did it. They're the ones that took care of it. They're the ones that had the problem. And you know what? We're going to be here and we're going to fix the problem. When they haven't done a damn thing, a single thing at all to take care of the issue, when they haven't actually looked at the problem, when they haven't tried to think about ways that they can fix the issue. When you have an entire government that says, hey, we have laws in place, but don't worry about those, just kind of come across as fine. What do you think is going to happen? Of course our border problem is going to be huge. Of course we're going to be overcrowded. Of course these people are going to just slam into all our border and try to get through and everything else, and hopefully not get caught or anything or all the rest of it. When our government doesn't care about the laws that we have on the books, when all we do is say, we've got laws for this, we got laws, but you don't actually enforce them, doesn't help. It doesn't help us. Look upward on the periscope. Just trying to give a helping hand. Oh, I see what you did there. Well done. Well done. Slightly venomous Kirk. When the spokesperson for Mexico called Americans racist and wanted to send his countrymen back, and was asked if Americans could just move to Mexico without penalty, he said no, we'd send you back. That's not even a joke. That's every country. It's every country. That's what they do. You do not destroy the sovereignty of a country by trying to illegally get in, by trying to do all these other things. It's a national sovereignty. A country is going to protect it. The government has to protect it. You can't just have an influx of illegal immigrants running through the border at all times, because it causes an imbalance. It causes a massive fluctuation in the population. It causes all of these issues. Everybody needs to, like, all this additional government care and facilities and all the rest of it. It puts a strain not only on the economy, but also our government and the people in general. So it's a horrible thing. This is why you can't have a global government. This is why you can't have an overarching government that says, okay, everybody's just a global citizen now. Blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't happen like that. You can't do that. Nobody has the ability to control that many people. Nobody has the ability to actually put that into place. The best system of government that the world has ever had has been the American system of government, and it's been destroyed for the past 150 years. Swedimus Prime. Let's not forget, Mexico can literally deny citizenship based on race. Yeah, we can't. Oh wait, yes we can. You want to know how I know that? We can. We can in America too. You want to know how I know? Because we know people. We have friends. And it's not really race at that point. Well, yeah, it is. He was denied for being white. He was white. And he was from the UK. And because he didn't have a college education, he had a job waiting for him, but he didn't have a college education, and he didn't have all these degrees, and he didn't have any of the rest of his... He was denied immediately. But you're telling me that these people that just decide that they're just going to cross the border one day, in unison, as a giant group, without any, nobody stirred them up. No, nobody decided that they were going to push them out. No, nobody said, hey, we're going to do a giant caravan and everybody's going to go up at the same time and they have to let us in. No, nobody said that. Of course not. That didn't happen at all. None of that happened, of course. Of course. Those people are fine. Those people that are trying to force our government to allow things to go the way that they are, those people are fine. That's okay. No problems. Sure. Right.
And now for something completely different.
So the first trailer was released this week for the TV adaptation of a very popular comic book. It was titled Y, The Last Man. The letter Y, The Last Man. So apparently it's causing some issues. causing some issues with the transgender advocates. Why, you may ask? Well, as you might already be able to tell, the series is titled because, everyone that is a male dies except for one man. So that means transgendered would also be dead. There would be no such thing as transgenderism anymore in that way. See, the premise of the story is that a plague kills every mammal on Earth with a Y chromosome. That is, except for one man, one human named Yorick, and his pet monkey, Ampersand. So one guy lives. No idea how he get it, but he lives. In other words, transgendered men, i.e., biological women who identify as men, would they have survived? What about transgender women? Biological men who identified as women. Where are they at? Because they're claiming that transgender women are women too. Women are women are women, transgender or not. And that's what everybody's up in arms about. Slash Films reported that back in 2019 that they were casting calls for a transgendered male character for the screen adaptation of Y: The Last Man, even though there were no transgender characters in the comic book series that ran from 2002 to 2008, several years before the transgender issue became a cultural touchstone. It didn't happen back then, so it wasn't a problem back then. Slash Film said that it reached out to FX, and which is taking on the series, for comment on the report of transgender males characters didn't receive a response there. Not at all. They didn't want to do that. Even if there is a transgender male character in the series, it would seem that Y: The Last Man still might face a problem with the trans community, and that there's no way a transgender woman could have survived. At all. Absolutely none. Couldn't happen because their genetic structure is, men. It's male. It's how it works. So being male, as you might guess, there's been a bunch of Twitter issues going on. So a bunch of people on Twitter are screaming out saying, wait, isn't this the specific premise why The Last Man is that the man-killing virus is actually one that targets people with a Y chromosome? If that's the case, then they're not allowed to say a world without cisgendered men unless there's also, say, a trans woman. I demand. Or they also, unless they also say, or trans women. I demand honesty. Another person said, maybe a better title would be, Why? The Last Man except for all those trans men who are doing just fine, thank you very much. So the cisgendered men, but genetics are complicated. Another person said, I heard that they at one point had a transgendered man in the cast. As trans men survive because they don't have Y chromosomes. But they still call it Last Man and basically saying that trans men aren't men. And then continuing on saying, why? The Last Man is extremely dated and brings up a lot of uncomfortable questions about trans people that cannot be answered in a short-form piece of fiction. This isn't specifically about answering those questions. It's going to be a mess. I agree. It is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess because people are stupid. They're morons. I'm sorry, but you are. Not you guys, but those people. The people that are complaining. The people that are on the Twitters making it upset. The people that are fussing about this thing. You're morons. Absolutely. What things do you have in your life that are worse than this? Aren't there things that you should be focusing on more than if a TV show has a transgendered character at all. If the plot of a story is everything with a Y chromosome except for one guy dies, then I'm sorry. What it means is everyone with a Y chromosome except for that one guy dies. That's it. There's nothing else to it. There is no transgender issue here. There is no trans community issue. In fact, I would say that this is probably the most LGBT-friendly movie out there. Why? Because the only way that these ladies are going to get any is if they do it themselves or to each other. Or if they find this one guy. Isn't that women strong? I mean, isn't that the thing? Like, isn't that what, the LGBT? Yeah, every woman has to become a lesbian now. Okay. Virus killed every man, which also means that the rest of society is dead. Unless in the next 50 years, women find a way to make babies without having a man. Which they could. And I thought they already had this. I thought they had wasn't there a comedy show called The Last Man Standing or The Last Man or something? I swear that there was a comedy thing about this where, the guy wakes up one day and he's the only guy in the world and everybody else is a woman and all the rest. Wasn't there? Wasn't there? I swear it was. I'm pretty certain it was. The Last Man Standing. That was what it was, right? Last Man Standing. That was the thing, or was that just that was what's his face? That's Tim Allen. The Last Man Standing was Tim Allen. But there was another show, Last Man on Earth or something. There had to have been. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't watch enough TV. I can't think about it that much. Anyway, yeah, Paige. Just so you know, Dylan he's outside. He's outside. He's on the phone. He has a personal issue that he's dealing with. So that's why he's not in the studio right here. He got a call immediately before. Last Man on Earth. It was Last Man on Earth. That's right. The Last Man on Earth. It was a comedy show. Meant to make fun of the fact, of everything that's going on. So why is this a problem? We've already had a comedy show like this. This is a more serious drama, apparently. Why? Why is this a problem? Why are you starting a fight over something that's useless? That's stupid. Is your life so good? So very, very good that this is where you have to go, that this is the point that you have to make. Okay? Is your life so very good, so nice, in fact, that the only problem that you ever have is that they made a TV show and they didn't have a trans person in it? That's where you make the stand? That's the hill you're going to die on. The hill you're going to die on is they didn't make a TV show that literally says The Last Man. And it's based upon a comic book series where every male dies. Not cisgender, every male dies minus one. And you're going to take that to heart. It's fiction. It's a story. Something from one guy's random imagination. And you're going to get pissy about it? I don't know. It's stupid. You know what isn't stupid, though? American Pride Roasters coffee. American Pride Roasters coffee. You can get that at AmericanPrideRoasters.com. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. It is historically great coffee. Also guaranteed to make you swallow every time you put it in your mouth. Don't forget to go to Mojo50.com. Mojo50.com. They're the place that's been housing us for quite a long time. I have no idea why they're so good to us, but they are. And so you should check them out. Also check them out on the iHeartRadio app. Hit the Mojo50 radio button to get yourself 24/7 talk radio. It is amazing. Don't forget to check us out. Our show, DOAE Show, The Defenders Live, DOAEshow.com is where you go. That's where you can get all the shirts and merch and all the rest of it. If you want to help us and support us that way, become a defender with us. Also, you can ask us questions. You go to our website, click on the Dear Defenders. You can ask us any question that you want. If you have problems or you need help or something else, let us know. We're just two average guys, and there's nothing else going on. But we may be able to put some insight into it. Don't forget to hit us up on all the social medias at DOAE Show. Hashtag arm yourselves. We'll be right back with the next hour. All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on Dylan. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. Yeah, that's right, Paige. That's exactly what's going on. Sorry, we're not trying to do anything like that. It's just, things happen. Personal calls and all the rest of it. You can't predict life. Yeah, the monkey's name was Ampersand. Yep. Yeah, that was very confusing. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, maybe. All right, Swedmus. I can see where you're going with that. I am taking my time. I'll be fine. Okay. Where do I want to go? We have all these strong stories, and then we got some silly stories, and I've been trying to save the silly stories for when Dylan gets back. That's what I'm going to do, too. Either that or... Because we got this Dear Defender, so we got to talk about, too. Dang it. Let's see here. All right, we're coming back here.
I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never
This is the collision of common sense and comedy. This is Defenders Live.
6 feet under.
Hour number 2. All right. Getting in the books on a Friday. Dylan is still dealing with what he has to do, so he'll be popping in as soon as he can, and that's okay. We'll be rolling right along. It might mean that I do the show for the rest of the night, and whatever. That's fine, because what we'll do is for the Dear Defender segment and all that, I want Dylan here so we can both answer it and get you the best possible answer known to man. So if he doesn't show up by the end of the show, we're going to hold that off until next Friday. That way we get everything going on. So just so you know what's going on. Anyway, going to all of the social medias, Sweatimus Prime over there. The monkey's name is Ambersam? Well, that can get confusing. Yes, it could. It could get very, very confusing. Sweatimus Prime also adding in that I think it's more their lives are just so miserable that they have to drag everybody else down with them. And he was talking about the transgender community that are getting upset over a stupid show that has to do with a comic book that came from somebody's imagination. So, yeah, I completely agree. Completely understand that. Yep. Oblivion Flickering over there. Quote, "If only we gays are left, who are we going to accuse of homophobia?" Yeah, that's also there. That is also there. Families of the victims of 9/11 told the President Joe Biden not to participate in any memorial event for the 20th anniversary of September 11th. Coffee. Unless he upholds his promise to declassify U.S. government documents regarding the terrorist attacks. Nearly 1,800 family members and first responders and survivors who were directly impacted by the September 11th terror attacks told President Joe Biden that he's not welcome to attend the 9/11 ceremonies. As president, he is not welcome to attend the ceremonies. Next month will mark the 20th year since the terrorist attack that killed over 3,000 Americans at the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and all the rest of it. 9/11 families will object to any participation by the administration in the memorial ceremony in 9/11 completely.
I heard you needed a co-host.
I do, yeah. That'd be amazing.
I heard it sucks so far.
Yes.
Everybody's complaining.
Yes, they're all sad.
Twitter's
upset.
all pissed.
Yes, they're all upset.
I'm handling something, okay? Calm down. I love all of y'all dearly, but you know what? This kind of took precedence. So
And once again, like I told you, I'm very serious when I'm alone.
we're all serious. This is why we'll never be alone.
That's right. We can't be alone. If
If
we're
one
alone,
of us suddenly dies, the show is over.
it's
Just
dead.
So we're
You
clear,
know that, right?
It's done.
This is gone.
You know,
we
we're not-
can't. We can't work without.
It doesn't work well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go right here.
Yeah, that's it.
There
There you go.
Here we go.
Hey,
We're
this is a salute to
gonna-
9/11
salute to you
families.
guys. And
That's the good stuff. Oh my God.
so amazing.
Anywho's,
Yeah. So the families of the 9/11
people said
people
screw off
said
Biden. Good.
President Joe Biden and all the administration, unless you declassify all U.S. government documents regarding the terrorist attack, don't even touch it.
Yeah, but
Do not come here.
I don't know. I don't have. I mean, I've there's people I've had, that I've known that I've lost in 9/11, but I don't have anybody personal. You know what I mean? Like I didn't lose a mother, father.
Yeah.
So I didn't have nothing that close. So I don't know. It might be a different feeling for those folks, but for me, from where I'm sitting with the people I have lost, so what? Like really, if they release the paperwork, they release all these documents, regardless of what's found out, what are you looking for? That's what I'm curious about. I'm just saying. I don't think. let's say, because everybody likes to say 9/11 was a conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy.
All this
The
stupidness.
steel doesn't melt like that.
Well, I'm not talking about like necessarily that, but like it was, borderline along the line, like anything else. Well, it was, they were let in and blah, blah, blah. And it was this and that. And okay, let's say that
all that happened.
That all that was true. Is that
Sure.
going to make you feel better?
No.
It's not for me. And again,
No.
now it might be different for somebody who has lost a mom or a dad or a brother or sister or wife, husband, whatever,
Yeah.
child. It
To have
might be
closure.
Yeah, maybe it makes a difference for them.
Maybe that's the
I don't
closure.
know.
That's probably the
but
closure portion of it.
I'm trying to empathize and be from that side and say, hey, I don't think I wouldn't want to know.
Right.
Because that would just make it worse. Because that would mean that not only did they die in a very sad way, not only were it taken from me, but now I find out that it was the country's fault and they did this on purpose. Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And now you're like, oh crap, I hate my country.
Yeah, there's plenty of other reasons to hate America as far as the way the politics goes. Like I don't mean
Yeah.
the country itself, but like
Yeah, but at this point,
you want to
know.
have there's a million other reasons to hate the government right now.
Oh yeah, tons.
That's a lot simpler and more direct in your life right now.
Yeah, like I don't know, the border crisis that we were just talking about, or anything else. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons.
Taxes and
Taxes,
the whole vaccination thing and all that
the
stuff.
shutdown for the last year, and killing everybody's
losing jobs
lifetimes.
and
all the rest of it.
the continuation of the, as I've heard it put today, the cold civil war that's going on.
Right.
All of that.
There's a cold civil.
Yeah.
What?
Well, So I was flipping through the TikToks today.
Okay.
And there was a guy on
All right.
live who was
Okay.
very much, he was on live on it. And I usually don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to this guy.
To the TikTok.
Very much, he was a black guy, very
Sure.
much, Black Lives Matter, hate Trump,
Yeah.
Okay. All but, and he kept referring to it as a cold civil war. And it's basically, the split and divide between anybody who voted for Trump
Right.
and quote unquote everyone else.
Yeah.
And to a point, I mean, I don't think the lines are actually drawn there. I think they're a little bit further the other way than you think.
Sure.
But he's right. I mean, it is very much a lot of people follow Trump because they're so adamantly against everything else that's going on. But they want Trump for Trump. They want what they think he stands for, and they don't know what the hell he stands for because they're worshiping him, and again, not the principle. They're not
Right.
they're
And
not-
that's where the problem
and
comes
that's the
into play.
problem.
Yeah, the problem is you're worshiping people. not
Half
the-
of what this guy was saying, I'm like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
The fact that these people worship this guy.
Did you send him a message and say, hey,
Oh,
let's
several
talk?
times. No, well, I thought about it, but I didn't.
we need to.
Because, there was several times he's like, I'm not talking to anybody. You can't talk to these people. And I started to, and I'm like,
No. We need to talk to him.
I'll see if I can find
Well,
him.
once again, we're not the ever Trumper people.
No, and that's true.
So that does make a lot.
That's true. But he kept referring to anybody that remotely disagreed with him as enemies and all of these little things. And it's like,
Okay.
listening to the language, there are certain people that you just can't.
No. But that's actually
Can't have a
That's kind of
conversation
the person
with.
I want to reach out to at this point.
Oh, I did too.
That's the person I want to look. I want to reach out and say, okay, you say we are enemies and
Yeah.
that we can't reach out. Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you want to try or do you want to
wanna
kill
try?
each other?
Yeah. Do you want to just kill me? If that's the case, that's fine. We'll close it here. But if you would like to try,
Yeah.
let's try.
I'm with you on it. I thought about doing something, and I think I could still find him. I
Yeah.
was going to see, but I don't know.
We should do that.
I don't know.
We should do that. But yeah, so yeah, 9/11 families, they just said poo poo on the president because they don't want him there. They don't.
Again, I would think that there would be other reasons why you wouldn't want him there than not releasing 9/11 documents. But whatever.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Tomato, I guess.
What are you gonna
It's-
do, right? It's not gonna be a thing, right? It's not a problem, right?
I think they're bigger fish to fry, personally. Mm-hmm. But again, I have not lost anybody. I have lost at least 2 friends, acquaintances, people I've known.
Yeah.
But I don't. That's obviously a way different thing than, again, an immediate family member. So I get it. It might make a difference. I don't think it will. But who am I to make that call? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. Sweatimus Prime. Some men you just can't reach.
Yeah, he also wanted to let you know that at Dylan Lyles, I for one was not complaining.
No, not on Twitter. You were doing it into your behind the back.
You go do your thing. Ed Stephen Airy was holding his own. Also, I now want scotch.
Well, that wasn't scotch. That was whiskey. It was Jameson.
Yeah.
Stout edition.
Irish whiskey.
That's like my absolute.
Oh, it's so good.
And again, coming from somebody who's not a whiskey drinker,
It's so good.
So
good.
I would rather that be president than anybody else. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Jameson for president.
Get him on the horn.
Let's go.
I mean, he may have died in the 1600s, but I
Does
don't care.
not matter.
Something can happen. We'll make us happen.
Yeah, we're just going to make it work.
And then,
All right.
Walking Wounded Slug. Hooray, the AI finished defragging. Thanks. Peekaboo, Snarky Jackal, also on Twitter. Understandable, Dylan. It's best to be off camera when handling something. Just ask Jeffrey Toobin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for that, guys. Are we going to do this?
I think so. I'm trying to space it out to make it a little easier.
Last Friday, one of the things that we had started was reading Dear Defenders live on the air, trying to answer questions you have. And if you happen to have a question or a query or a life struggle or what have you, you can go to doaeshow.com, click on the Dear Defender section and fill it all out, and you can explain everything. I know that you took the...
This is literally just copy paste run.
No, I got that. I know that you took the character limit off.
Yeah, I did.
I think we might need to rethink that.
Oh.
After this one that has been...
Why? Why?
Because...
Why you say that?
This individual, and I believe this was the one from last week that I butchered, but they wrote a book. I think... I'm just...
Well, he needs help, man.
No, and I got that, and I understand.
This individual needs some help.
And there's nuances, and I understand that.
They're asking for the helps.
I understand that, and there's nuances to things, and it makes things clear, and I do completely understand. But oh wow,
I'm just gonna. I separated it a little bit to make it a little easier to go through.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. But I think Thomas Paine's common sense was shorter than this. I really do, and that wasn't a thick one. Wow. Oh God. Now it looks like song lyrics. Okay. Stop. Holy cow.
Which one do you want? That one or that one? That one.
That's fine. Leave it there because the other one looks too big.
Uh-huh.
So, but we're
to go.
I mean, but thank you for sending it. And by all means, we're going to answer and do as we need to. But I just, wow. Okay. So here we go. Defenders Live presents Dear Defenders. So. And there's already starts off as an apology for a really lengthy email.
It's fine.
It is very long.
It is long. That's what she said.
That's what War and Peace was just a hair shorter, I think.
Just a bit.
Just a tad.
Tiny little bit.
Took less effort to write. But anywho, I want to get your opinion on some things I'm currently dealing with. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this is the same situation. The guy we met and we talked about it and blah blah blah. And he said he will start at the beginning. So Steven is also up to speed on what's going on, and hopefully I have the formatting feature on here figured out so that it is easy to read.
Nope,
you don't, because
he didn't even put a space after the period.
Yeah, so it's easy to read. Period. There's no space.
No space there.
Just throwing that out there. But I spent 2 years working in insurance and was getting to the point of willing to do anything else, and I don't blame you.
Yeah.
He said even up to the extent of a pay cut, and to get out of it because it was just a super soul-sucking situation.
Yeah, I know. I completely understand that.
Which, congratulations on the...
I did it for about 9 months. Yeah, I did it for 9 months. Insurance sales.
And yours was travel, too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was so bad. You know what? I made $60,000 that year, and I spent 65 just in traveling and shenanigans.
Yeah. Continuing on, along came what appeared to be a golden opportunity: safety coordinator for a light rail system.
Oh,
I jumped on the opportunity because, one, it was closer to the line of work that I'm interested in as a firefighter and wanting to work in emergency management. And two, it actually wasn't a pay cut.
Oh, yeah.
And was anything but insurance.
Good.
So I think that last part would have been 3, but anyway.
That'd have been 3, yeah.
Hiring manager is someone I've worked with before.
Okay.
Was looking for someone to add to his team that was good with numbers and data, mainly along the lines of compiling data, interpreting, and so forth and so on, blah, 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 blah. It was supposed to only be a part of the job, and have made it abundantly clear on numerous occasions that I am willing to help build our system and prep reports, but I am not a data entry person since we have people to do that who are actually experts in the field and blah, blah, blah. Literally a jack of all trades as we started moving in the direction of serious data analysis, thanks FTA. I kept telling my boss that we don't have the capacity to gather the information that is needed. It's mainly because they can't hire good people, thanks to city HR, and we don't have a functioning system that is designed to collect said data.
Okay.
We currently use an old inventory management program and is forced to add to an additional functionality. Blah, blah, blah. Been many years in the process, firm believing that, there's a will, there's a way. And typically, it just takes a little bit of effort, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
When I first brought it up, I was told I had already crossed his mind. And it was just basically for him to, take that position and make a position of it.
Yeah.
When I first brought it up, I was already told that I had crossed his mind and was super hopeful. We were in a period of serious professional upheaval. The GM was stepping down. We were going through interims of GMs. We know what that's like.
Yeah, we definitely know that.
There was issues with the safety department and management roles, so forth and so on. I jumped on every opportunity to work in this field, volunteering for assignments, etc., etc. The topic of conversation came up a few weeks ago. And he made the comment that it would make my boss' job a lot easier if he would just make me the guy.
The guy.
Uh-huh.
Which guy?
The guy that would handle all this stuff for him.
All
the
the
stuff that
paperwork
he's
stuff.
been doing everything anyway,
Okay.
but doing it and being able to come up with a way to make it better.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
The topic of conversation came up. Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
My response. Oh, wait. I got lost.
Right here.
Type of conversation. Yeah, we don't do the part. Dun, 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 dun. This is what happens when there's a lot. It was partially in jest and partially not. It's what I want to do, and I've done everything I can to make myself the perfect candidate for it. My response was to the coworker asked first. Now said coworker has been a fireman longer than I have. But that's about the only thing that he has on me when it comes to qualifications. He lobbied to have a position created for him so he could have quote-unquote advancement since he was in the process of trying for a second child. He got the position made. We didn't need it, but it was a carrot, and I'm trying to do the same, mainly without the addition of another promotion potential, there's literally no room for advancement in this organization for about another 10 to 15 years. And I can imagine what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
To just be that, nowhere to go, glass ceiling, but it's not
nothing.
glass. It's
literally,
more like
it's steel.
tungsten.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a position created that is needed and would be very interesting for me. My boss and I had a little back and forth where I somewhat snarkily said that regardless of who asked first, I was the best person, but he dismissed it because he wants me to be in charge of data management systems going forward. And that floored me. One, I already do that in my spare time. And two, I made it abundantly clear over and over the past 2.5 years that I've been there. I don't want that to be my primary function.
Okay.
I'm good at it, but I honestly detest this type of work because it basically devolves me to being a desk jockey.
Yeah.
And I took this job to get away from that.
Yes.
I hate the feeling of resentment towards the guy who literally took a risk hiring me because I had no experience in transportation. But honestly, that's been entirely my career of work and taking jobs I had no experience in because I had transferable skills, medicine experience and going to insurance, for example, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of being pigeonholed into something I don't want because I have a coworker that's trying to undercut me and a boss who doesn't understand that we don't need that type of position that he wants to give me, but we do need the position that he now basically is saying the other guy gets because he asked for it before I did. And he was there a lot longer than I was.
Okay.
The other guy, or the other part that really burns me up, is that I already spend 25% of my day fixing things for other people, including the guy that they want to give the job to,
Okay.
or this position to.
Yeah.
And would end up basically doing a significant portion of the work for him
Okay.
to look good in a position that I'm objectively and subjectively more qualified for.
Okay.
I have the experience, education, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The reason my coworkers look so good in what they do is a lot because of me making sure that our organization doesn't look foolish. I know that feeling really well.
Yeah, we all do that. Okay.
I know it sounds really arrogant, and I hate sounding arrogant. Apparently, he doesn't care about words. I'm messing. I'm picking. But I don't know how else to adequately express my frustration to the people who would have been fired had we worked in the private sector, keep making things, the same money that I do, despite the fact that I have done so much more work because I can't stand things to be haphazardly. I want to talk to my bosses about my concerns without sounding bitter or arrogant. I've been trying to let it go and give it over to God, something I seriously struggle with regardless of the situation. But more and more stuff keeps happening that just further reinforces that I'm going to do a lot of extra work for practically nothing. I need prayers, I need advice, and I want to say, stay here. I want to help the people I have the utmost respect for. But honestly, if they're going to pigeonhole me and not allow me to advance my career in the direction I want to go, then I need to find somewhere that will. Right. That alone is a frightening concept because the market is so saturated right now, especially considering my personal values, that I would be more likely to have to make more sacrifices somewhere else. The location he lives in happens to be very blue.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die.
Yeah. And not that good of a way either, which is why I'm trying to move out. But right now, the team I'm on isn't forcing me beyond having to do certain silly things as a condition of city employment, to spew information that is demonstrably false or sacrifice my personally held beliefs in the face of termination.
Okay. Yeah, good.
With the uncertainty going into the summer with how, quote, gestures wildly, end quote, all this is going to play out. I don't necessarily want to jump ship into something where I may not have the same level of freedom. It's a hard spot, and I don't know what to do or where to even begin.
Okay, so can I start, or do you want to start?
I think we're done.
Yeah, good job.
I need coffee after that.
Okay,
Go ahead. You
take
handle
coffee.
this.
All right. So I'm based on what you're saying. Okay. Based on what you're saying and what you're doing. Just kind of break it down. You're in a job that you love. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you're doing a position in that job that you hate. Okay. So you're in a job that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. But half of the job you hate because it's something that you were trying to get away from and that you're trying to push yourself out of. You were trying to get yourself away from that. I've been in that position multiple times. The last time, so other than this current job change that I did was just for necessity's sake.
Yeah, because you were. Let's be honest. If you hadn't done the change, as we talked about today,
it would have been bad for me anyway.
It would have been bad for you and
the show.
Personally,
it would have been bad
for
me and the show because I'd have been traveling all around the world at this point.
Yeah, and
so I can't do that.
You think an hour with just Steven's bag? Can you imagine just me?
Yeah, by himself.
And I wouldn't.
He wouldn't do it. Anyway, so I get you on that one. I got you. Now, before that, I had done the exact same thing. I went into a field that I thought would be good for me because I had some ideas about it. And I wanted to make sure that with those ideas that I could get up off the... I hate being a desk jockey.
Yeah.
I hate
desk flying.
Flying
I've never
a desk.
done it. I've never done it. However, I've always kind of wanted to, but then every time I get even near one for a little bit, I'm like, "Grr."
Yeah, because you're stuck to it. You're chained to it. And it's a terrible thing. It makes you feel sluggish. It makes you feel fatter than you are. It makes everything else.
Because I need help with that.
Yeah. So
we're going to have to carry this over.
We're going to carry it over, and that's okay because it took you 15 minutes to read
I know.
it, but that's fine. So we're going to carry this over. We'll be right back after this.
Shut up, Kirk. You suck, dude. I paraphrased a lot. Like
Yeah, you did.
And again, and like I said, this was when I had this conversation with him, and there was a lot of nuance to it. I knew when I brought it up last week that it wasn't, I wasn't near hardly scraping the surface. But having said that, though, like, wow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
B for the SAV. Figured out why the internet was down Wednesday's show. That's the day the email was being downloaded.
That's awesome.
Wounded slug. Walking wounded slug. Dear defenders, what's the best way to dispose of a body?
Hey, you send it. Send it.
I'm
I'm not saying, but send it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
There's a myriad of ways we could describe it.
We can talk about that.
B from the SAV. Is it possible to listen to the @DOA show live stream at 1.5 speed?
No.
Hashtag asking for a friend.
No.
Slightly venomous Kirk. Hashtag why Dylan was late because his hard drive was floppy and he needed more RAM.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
There you go.
Oblivion flickering. Dear DOA show, I would like to start at the beginning. The universe exploded into existence 14 billion years ago after a very long cooling period. I love it. The one I was thinking of was actually, it was a cold and stormy night. My mother and father were rushed to the hospital to be birthed with a bouncing baby boy.
Yeah, right. The whole thing. Start of the video.
This is Defenders Live.
Oh.
Slightly venomous Kirk over Twitter. If @Dylan Lyles insists on being vague as to why he was tardy for the to the @Jackhole community or the hashtag Jackhole community, he has to know there's going to be a hashtag for the reason we believe he was. Hashtag Dylan, why Dylan was late. And I'm fully aware of that, and some of these are fantastic.
They're amazing.
I loves it.
So very good. So very good.
Let's just say I was trying to talk somebody off a ledge, and we'll leave that there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's probably the best way to put it. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Oblivion flickering over on Twitter. In the middle of the first letter, I was losing the will to live.
All right.
On point. Anyway,
we are not going to
and
laugh at that because
no-
this is a situation that is actually
Oh no, I'm
problematic.
still gonna laugh at it.
Oh yeah.
No, but I would throw it out there. Like, unfortunately, this is a very lengthy one.
But it's also
we were not really gonna recap on it.
No. Okay.
We're just gonna continue on.
Yeah, we're going to continue
keep
on.
going.
So, all right. You flew a desk, and when you flew a desk, you hated it.
Yeah.
You hated it beyond all measure.
I had the same problem.
And-
I honestly had the same problem when I worked on cars. I love the idea. When I started working on cars, it was before things became completely electronic.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Hybrids weren't invented. We're talking still like mid 90s, early to mid 90s when I first started working on cars. So a lot of this stuff it's all still very mechanical. There was you had some computers, but for the most part, it was all mechanical. Loved it.
Right.
And it was just one of those things that became the only job I could find was working as a mechanic. And I hated it. I loved it as a hobby. Loved it as a hobby, but I hated it as a career.
Right.
To the point that I was like,
you now don't even want to do work on your own cars.
I don't.
Yeah, I get it. So, okay. All right. Back to the story though, everything that's going on. You flew a desk for a while.
Yep.
Okay. And then you found a job in something that you love. Now,
Yep.
the job that you love, you happen to be doing some of those things that you hated for so many years because you're good at it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's where I'm going with this. I flew a desk, and then after I flew a desk, I realized that I hated flying desks. So I got a new job. My new job was in the data field, right? And I realized I was pretty good at it. I was pretty darn good. You know what I mean? I was pretty darn good at it. I enjoyed it. I'm pretty darn good at it. And, you know, I got to the position where I was, where, you know, I technically was management or upper level or whatever, mid-level management or whatever. Anyway, all that being said, I was there. I actually know your frustration at this point.
Been there, done that.
I know exactly what the frustration that you're having is.
Yeah.
And I completely understand it. You are good. You are good at doing that crap that nobody else wants to do. You are really good at it.
And because you enjoy it, you're going to make sure that you do it right.
Because you enjoy everything else, you want to make sure that this is done right.
Yep.
Right? That's it. You're like, I've got to do this because if I don't do this, then, you know, bad things may happen. That's a responsibility on your part. So my honest assessment of this is, and I did this. I did this to prove a point.
Yeah.
Okay. My honest assessment to you and how I would take part of this is I would, one, go to my boss and tell him, look, I don't want that.
Yeah. This is what I want.
And I understand that I'm good at it. I want this, and here's the reason why I want this. And you give them all the reasons.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you tell them this. You say, now look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing all of that side stuff that you've expected of me
Yeah.
that I hate doing.
Yep.
Because everybody else is supposed to do it too.
Yeah.
And because they're not doing it, I want you to see what's going to happen to all those people who are going to take my position
Yeah.
that I want.
Exactly.
The position that I want, for all those people that are going to take the position that I want, that I would help make look good,
yeah.
I want you to see how bad they actually are without me doing the work for them.
Yep.
I don't want to do that work. That's not the job I want to do. I got this job so I could get out of flying a desk so that I could do the work that I wanted. Here's the work that I want to do.
And if I'm not going to get it here,
If I'm not going to get it here, then I am going to start looking for a different job. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'm not trying to do anything else, but I want you to
got to do what's best for you.
I want to do what's best for me as a person. And I know that if you put me on a desk, I'm going to hate this.
I'm going to be miserable. And
I'm going to hate this. I'm going to be miserable. And I'm going to want to kill everybody here.
Yeah.
Don't add that part. But
Yeah,
honestly,
I wouldn't.
but honestly, yes.
Again, make it subtle.
Make it nice. Make it subtle. I get you. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So I'm there. Let him know, and under all certain terms, that you got out of a desk job because you can't stand sitting behind a desk anymore.
Yeah.
You can't stand doing that sort of work anymore.
You're not that old yet. You don't need to be the one where you can't be out on the field anymore.
You're cool if
You
it's
got time.
if it's like small portions of your day that has to be done because it's part of
but
your
do
job.
it for you, not like
But it's
you're not doing it for
you.
everybody else's
Yeah,
stuff.
but it's for you to be doing it, not for not anybody else benefiting you doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with there on that one for sure. One thing you definitely stop doing is making everybody else look good.
Yeah. Never. Okay. There's so many things about that.
I get it. Well, and I understand coming from there.
Yeah, you want to make sure
Because-
that everybody's good.
Because you're going to end up, I know where it comes from.
You
'cause-
think that it's going to end up making you look good in the end.
No, not just that. There's also situations and in certain places too, where if he's going to end up feeling that he's going to have to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
You don't.
No. I mean, and it might be one of those situations. I've done that. I've been in places like working on cars and stuff. If somebody doesn't show up or somebody half-asses something or whatever,
You have to correct
You
it.
have to correct it. You have to take that. Everybody takes that hit. And so it's one of those, well, if they're already not going to do it, then I'm going to be stuck doing it later anyway. I might as well do it and do it right.
I got you.
And that's I'm saying, but I think
that's
where
why
he's
I'm,
at.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Stop
saying
doing that.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you.
Let
Go to
them
your boss.
rise and fall on their own.
No. Go to your boss and tell him flat out, I'm going to do it for me. I'm not going to do it for anybody else. And so if there's work that has to be done in that realm that I would have done, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that my job is done right. But beyond that, I'm not going to do anymore
Yeah.
because you don't pay me for that.
Exactly.
If he doesn't pay you to be a boss, you don't need to be their boss. If you don't get paid to do that job, you don't do the job. If you are not getting paid to do it in a job, but you're doing it anyway, you're giving away free money.
Yeah.
You're giving away your hard-earned skill and understanding for free.
There's one of my mottos in life I always tell people is there's a very, very, very fine line between showing initiative, being that team player and caring about everything and blah, blah, and getting taken advantage of.
Right.
It's a very fine line. And if you're not careful,
You're crossing it every time.
at the moment, I think you already have.
I think
we've crossed, that ship has sailed at this point.
You've crossed into the line of, instead of being a team player, you are now carrying the team. You're carrying the team.
Yeah.
Okay?
And there's certain people that shouldn't be on the team that because of...
If those certain people that are going to get a better job than you or whatever, going to get a position that you're also qualified for just because of seniority, but they technically can't do the job that you're doing
Or won't.
do the job that you're doing already, and that was part of their job to begin with, or part of their job at going forward, you need to stop doing it.
Yeah. At this point,
Stop
you
doing it.
Weigh it out and go, which is going to be worse? The being miserable and doing that job that you don't want to do if you get stuck doing it, or leaving for something else. And I know both of them are. You're kind of like, "Grr."
Yeah, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter at that point.
Well, no, because he's got time invested with these people. Like you're
Sure.
at home, he lives in that area. Yeah, I wouldn't want to move.
But you're also
necessarily
trying to
either.
move.
Well, no, and you should. Just hint, hint, wink, wink.
Move.
If you come a little bit further north, I don't know, about 2 hours or so.
Ish. We'll say 4.
It is not 4 hours.
3.
Maybe.
3.
It's like 2
3.
2 hours and 45 minutes.
3.
Hold on. 2 hours and 45 minutes
Northeast.
from here to Concord. To Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes.
I know it is.
Of course it is. Yeah,
Okay.
there, yeah.
So it's about 2 hours,
Yeah,
45
but he's
minutes.
south of that, isn't it?
Not by much.
It's like that.
But still, I'm just
Just
okay. But
saying.
okay, fine. But that's what I'm
3
saying. To
hours.
here, though, that doesn't count till I get to Raleigh.
Oh yeah, that's to here.
That's why and it's 30 minutes, so I'm offsetting it. So about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours ish.
There's plenty of places around this area that I'm just saying, there's certain people that you could hang out with. I don't know. I just think that it might be behooving unto you.
Right to maybe just kind of calm it down.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
would
then move.
Yeah, I would. If I was you, one,
Right.
like Steven said, stop doing everything for
Stop
everybody else. Stop making them look good.
Nope.
You're not getting anything out of it.
It doesn't benefit you at all.
and it doesn't help them.
No, it actually makes them worse.
Yeah,
Because they're going to rely on you to do it forever, and instead, so that's one of the things that I had to learn as a, I had to learn that the hard way
yeah,
because I'm one of those guys. I'm just gonna do it.
yeah, and I'm the same way.
I'm just gonna
the
do.
same
I don't
way.
care. I don't care. That,
I'm gonna have to do it anyway, so I might as well.
I might as well just do it and stop complaining about it. But at some point,
Like you said, you're giving away free work.
you're giving away your life,
Your time
your
for
life's
free.
time. You're giving away your time, your freedom, your
Yep.
You're adding
Time with family and
responsibility.
friends, yeah.
yeah. You're adding all that stuff to it, and it's not. You're adding stress to you
Not
that
worth
doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, not worth it. I would stop doing that. Approach your boss. Lay everything, like Steven said.
Lay it out.
Sit down. This is what I want to do. Lay all your facts out as to why you think you're better. And then when it's all done, be like, here's the deal. With all that being said, I'm not, he obviously is going to make a decision and not on the
No,
spot.
he doesn't need to make a decision on the spot.
But at that point, it needs to be a...
it needs to be said that hey,
if
look,
I'm not being heavily considered, not just like a, well, it's other guys got seniority. No, if I'm not being heavily considered for this and seriously considered for this, I need to know now.
so that I can plan for the future.
And yeah, so I can decide what I need to do moving forward. It's not an ultimatum. You're not being a douche. You're not being a jerk. You just kind of present your arc. Because again, you need, in the end, you are going to be with you for the rest of your life. You have got to do what makes you happy in
Right.
the end.
Yeah.
And again, which is worse, being in a place and doing a job that you really can't stand,
Being in a job
or
that you lo-
having to do the transition from a job that otherwise outside the job you
Yeah.
don't like doing.
right.
That you're going to leave people and relationships and all this other stuff. And
Sure. And it sounds like you love the job that you do. It's just
Oh, yeah.
you hate portions of it.
which everybody
Okay?
does.
Everybody hates portions of it. The portion of it that you hate is something that you left, but they're trying to force you to do that full time.
Well, and do it for everybody else because you kind of
Right, which would make
started.
them look better. And like I said,
Yeah.
it might help you. What might help you out is to actually make a list of the things that you do
Yeah.
and put it out in front of and put it to the boss and say, here,
This is what
these are the things that I've been responsible for.
Yeah.
And the reasons that your guys look so good.
Yeah.
If you see any fault in this, tell me now.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm going to stop doing. I'm going to stop doing this.
Yep.
For anybody else but for me. I'm going to stop doing this because I need you to see, I need you as the boss to see the work that I'm doing and how it benefits the guys.
Yep.
And if it comes to that point, that's because that's where it is. And now you have a backstory. You have what, a couple years in this now. So now you have backtrackable information. You have the idea behind it. You know what you're doing. And it doesn't really matter if somebody has been there longer than you. Seniority doesn't matter. Because you can be somewhere for a really long time and still be a moron.
Yeah, I mean that plays for anything. Just because
Any job you have.
just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you maintain a certain level of maturity. It applies across the board.
You can be a 90-year-old, 15-year-old.
Yeah, time and service and all that other jazz doesn't count near as now. It should count to a point for something,
Right. But it doesn't count for this.
but yeah, in this instance,
in this instance, you know, I'm currently working on. Okay, I'll put it this way: I'm currently working in a position where I'm starting to fly a desk again because it got me out of where I was. It got
Yeah.
me into a stable place where I could be home. I hate it.
yeah. I
Anyway.
was gonna say,
I hate it, but I did it because I needed a place to stabilize. Okay. At that current place, you have many people that are there. It's family-run business, and it's really nice. These people are really good folks. But you have people there that have been there for 15, 30, 40 years.
yep,
And they've done things a certain way for 15, 30, 40 years. I came in because I was told that my job in that way was to help them transition. One of my jobs was to help them transition into a better way, a faster way, a quicker way, a more succinct way.
how's that working out for you?
I've done everything technology-wise. Now it's working on people.
Yeah, and how's that working?
Not so great.
Yeah, because
So
nobody wants to. You can't
I'm-
teach a dog old tricks.
It's
New
not
tricks.
just teaching dogs new tricks. It's literally trying to take somebody that is so set in their ways.
Yeah, and say get
and
out of that
say,
spot and do it differently.
You can't do this anymore because it's not worth our time.
Yeah.
You're adding extra effort to the job that could be taking less time if you just decide to do this way. And because of that, I'm technically becoming I'm almost half managing these people, and I just got hired for this job.
Yeah. And you're not the man.
And I'm not the manager.
But
I'm getting asked questions that a manager would be getting asked. I'm getting asked to be doing things that a manager would be doing. No, I'm pretty close to being out already. Because it's at that point.
yeah, I know. Well, and God willing, things change.
Yeah.
Stuff in the
creep
background.
and
But
rise.
anyway, B from the SCV is the answer to the problem to outward count the question.
Yes.
Yes.
Always.
This is why we ask. I mean, we took the thing off, which again, I might recommend
Probably
we
a bad
fix
idea. I
that.
should have probably put a limit on there.
But at the same time, yeah,
1,000 words?
sure.
1,000 words. I think 1,000 word limit.
Not words, characters. Son of a bitch! You want to do 1,000 words? No.
Well, that was less than 1,000 words.
That's why I said you don't want a limit of 1,000 words. 'Cause I have a bad feeling I know certain people who will just write something in there just to fill in the space. It'd be 2 or 3. It'll be a paragraph and then a paragraph of gibberish and a paragraph
and the
paragraph gibberish. Yeah,
just to add it in.
I know how these people are.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are.
Oblivion flickering over Twitter. You might not be a douche, but you very well may be a douche canoe.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
It's like I said. It's easy to get stuck in that. You know, just be careful and again and pray about it. Like
Right.
you have to do what's best for you and by you and yeah. My opinion is you present everything to the boss, tell him how it is, and then depending on what he says, you make the next move from there, and God will handle the rest.
That's all you can do.
To take a very lengthy thing and put it in layman's terms.
Yeah, make it as short as possible. To make things as short as possible, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it like we just did.
No, because that's terrible.
So there.
Bad idea.
And that was almost a half hour.
Yeah, at least a half hour.
A half hour of
One question.
Dear Defenders, here on Defenders Live. So if you've got a question, you got anything you want to throw out at us, go to DOAEshow.com, click the Dear Defenders spot. Any questions, it does not matter. It could be personal. It could be, serious. It could be joking. It could be whatever. We'll read it and we don't care. It's very much like a Dear Abby. Some people have actual stuff they need to get advice on, want other people to throw it out there, and for some stupid reason, it's funnier if we
just talk about
do
it.
the commenting on it. So by
That's
all
how we
means,
are.
DOAEshow.com, Dear Defenders, fill it all out. It won't be 1,000 characters.
Anyway,
There you go.
hopefully that helped.
I hope so. And
Yeah.
and if not, then sorry.
So workers in a Brooklyn cemetery turned a sad and solemn day into a living nightmare.
Okay.
When they
in
tried
a cemetery.
when they tried to jam a woman's casket into the plot that they made too small.
Oh my God. It was too.
Wait
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out.
What?
Time out.
What?
Time out.
What? Okay.
Time out.
What?
Now I'm not in the
Casket making business or
the
digging ditch
graveyard business or
Yeah.
anything like none of that. I'm not any of that. Okay, so I don't know, but my brain has been I've been under the impression, okay, that everything is kind of standard. I understand that, like, to a point, there are different lengths of people.
Sure, right.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can.
But I
usually bend the
thought
knees.
for ease, and maybe this is just an assumption, that they had certain lengths of coffins and
lengths and widths. Yeah.
yeah, but they kept everything kind of about the same
Yeah. Generally about
stages of sizes,
Yeah.
and all you had to do was go, oh, this guy is
this size.
this one, and and it was all. Other than that, the hole was dug pretty
Everything
much
was
to
done.
standard
Yeah. Pretty much.
on regular. I guess it's not, unless somebody lied about her size.
I don't know.
Like, they were informed that this was a child that they were burying, and it turned out to be a full-grown woman. Like, I understand.
Yeah. No.
that.
See, this was 79-year-old woman. Yeah.
Now, granted, 79-year-old women shrink.
Sometimes,
they're-
yeah,
but-
as they age. Yeah. You see, it turned into horror when they were trying to jam the casket into the plot because it was too small.
Hold on. How do you try to jam a coffin?
They were literally like stepping on it and pushing it down because you got
No,
the
and
machine. You got the machine that lowers it in, right?
Yeah.
And they were using the machine, and the machine stopped, and it wouldn't go any further. And
No,
so
and
then
I-
they started trying to like literally jump on it and shit.
Because that's appropriate. And it was
Yeah.
in front of the family? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
During the lowering process.
See,
Like-
at that point,
like
you
we're
would-
talking about, like they already had the wig, they already had the meat, everything was going, and they went to there, and they're going to drop the casket down, and everything's good, and then it stops.
Now, don't you think in it would have been better to have gone, oh, crap, there might have been error. We're going to pull this back up, and we're going to redig it. And I understand it's got to be irritating for the family, but at least it's a lot better than jumping on the casket.
It was Brooklyn.
I don't care.
It was Brooklyn.
Wow. I still would have been like,
To make matters worse, because of what they did, the casket decided to tip.
Like, again, they're trying to force a
Yeah.
solid wooden / metal casket
and
into
eventually
solid ground.
They eventually got it partially in, and when they did,
That's what she said.
right, it tipped.
Then they didn't get it in.
And she fell out.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Not Grandma.
Grandma fell out.
Grandma got crammed into a plot.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The disturbing scene unfolded in front of a woman's sobbing family as the
Oh,
cemetery
no.
laborers tried in vain to force the coffin into the Clarabelle Clarabelle, that's her name, Clarabelle Oppenheimer,
Clarabelle Oppenheimer.
into the Evergreen Cemetery plot on June 24th, according to a suit filed Friday.
Wow.
Yeah, the sound of scraping filled the air. After what felt like an eternity, the coffin got stuck. This is how the suit reads. Defendant workers then pulled the coffin from all sides, causing sounds of scratching and scraping and all the rest of it. One worker tried repeatedly to shove the coffin in with his bare hands,
Again,
to no avail.
this is solid ground. You realize that. Like, you're not going to shove a giant casket into the ground with your bare hands, you moron. Wow. This is good.
Laborers removed flowers from the casket as stunned mourners looked on. The workers tugged and pulled in the casket and allegedly, thank you, swung open. The casket allegedly swung open and revealed Oppenheimer's hand, which had been crossed and shifted during the chaos.
Well, if only the hand moved, I guess that's okay.
Oppenheimer's son.
I was expecting like the door to pop open and she just kind of pull like a mummy thing, you know, like, scare the hell out of people. Granny, no.
Oppenheimer's son said that he asked the workers just to give up. Pastor asked them to get tools to expand the grave. The workers then removed the coffin and laid it in the grass, where it sat for about an hour.
Wow.
The pastor asked them to move it into the hearse due to the hot weather. To add insult to injury, the mourning family says workers yelled at them to get out of the way of a backhoe.
Now, at that part, you can't blame them. Like,
No,
at that point,
you guys
the work
failed.
Yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, the workers obviously screwed up. Something screwed up somewhere. Okay. Having said that, though, if everyone realizes, hey, the hole is too small.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Then maybe you need to obviously make it bigger. So they're trying to rectify a bad situation.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. Then the family needs to get the hell out of the way. You can't sit there and go, well, they yelled at us because you were in the fucking way. I get it. It's a bad situation. It's awkward for everyone. Nobody's happy. It's already a funeral. Let's not make it worse by you sitting there being in the way so they can't dig it and put the person in the ground and add closure.
Yeah. Can you dig it?
I could. They obviously didn't.
Right. The suit was filed, and whenever everything's a quote, it is inexcusable for the cemetery not to dig a grave large enough to fit a casket.
And again, I get that, but I would assume that they were told wrong. Whoever dug it was told wrong. Because I know that everybody has different heights and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm not in the mortician type.
That's not your thing.
That's not my forte.
Yeah.
But I would guess that, unless you're like crazy tall, they have caskets that are kind of set for average folks.
No.
Yeah. I know it sounds weird, but, they have average ones, adults, adult men at up to certain lengths, and just kind of go like that. And then at that point, they're going to be like, yes, it's a, such and such year old adult, male, female, whatever. And it may not matter.
It's
and
an
then
adult of such height.
Yeah, and whoever digs a hole goes, okay, I know it needs to be 6 feet deep and, this wide, this long.
Usually, you can go 6.5 wide.
I thought there was, that's what I'm saying. I thought there was usually like a standard.
Like 6.5 wide.
Like the hardest part should have been the length. And again,
what I mean,
I thought there was a standard.
That's what I'm saying. Length, 6.5.
It always goes 6 feet deep.
Yeah.
So and the standard should be about 6.5 wide.
Yeah, and then
whatever then is just
6.5
a matter of
long. Sorry, and then width is the one thing.
Yeah, or whatever. It's
it's probably going to be 3 feet wide.
I don't know.
6.5 length, 3 foot wide,
maybe 6
4
to 5
deep.
maybe, but I don't know. I'm not. Again, that's not my job.
Well, I mean, the average human is not anywhere close to that.
No, I know,
wide.
but you have to add into the casket
That's what I'm
and
saying,
the tools to drop it down and everything else. It's better to
4.
have more room to wiggle in than that.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Wiggle room is not a problem.
Not when it comes to your dead beloved.
Yeah, right.
Slightly Venomous Kirk over on Twitter. # arm yourselves. Dear God, is there a video, guys? Also, did they feel the earth move under their feet?
No, and...
No, I wish there was. I really wish there was. Walking Wounded Slug. Too bad the hand didn't pop out in a one-finger salute. That would have been
amazing.
Hilarious.
Good job, Grandma.
Sweatmiss Prime at DOA Show. Wrecked him. Hardly knew him.
Damn near killed him.
Oblivion Flickering. Don't forget to tip your grandma, but when you're done, put her back in her coffin. There you go.
And that's the best way.
This half-ass show was brought to you by AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Well played.
Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com for historically great coffee, guaranteed to make you swallow every single time you put it into your mouth.
Yes, don't forget to check out the Mojo 5-Os.
Yes, do that at Mojo50.com.
Oh, yeah.
Also, go to iHeartRadio under the Mojo 50 radio banner. Click the like button, subscribe, follow, and all that jazz over there. 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yes.
Free speech, libertarian talk radio. You will not find anything else on planet Earth like this, I promise you. That. Go to our website, DOAEshow.com.
That's DOAEshow.com.
Yes, check out the archives. Dear Defenders is over there. The shop's over there. Check it all out. Great stuff. Become a Defender with us. Follow us on all the social medias at DOAE Show. Please like, share, and follow. Send it to everybody you know. Guys, have a great weekend. We'll see y'all Monday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.